I'd like to thank Nikki, gallery manager here. She's pretty much put this event together for us today, so thank you to Nikki. Thank you to Esther, who is the representative from Todd's publisher. And I'd like to thank my cousin Pauline, who's been a most beautiful hostess serving the Prosecco tonight. Mark, my partner, and Nikki's daughter, Paige, there. Right, now then, Todd knows every time he comes we always give him a gift. But what we want to say that Todd was made in Moyr.
Oh, very good, very good. Thank you.
That's good, isn't it?
I like that. So many of you have been here before. This is kind of easy walking in because it's always like I get to see so many of you. Sometimes I look forward to. I know who's going to be at certain shows. I look forward. Of course, the downside is you're mad when they didn't show up, but I know where we stand. Yeah. So the new collection, as they like to say, it's not really a collection to me. It's just where I'm going and the routes that I'm traveling. I always feel like I'm on this like kind of creative journey, and I never want to lose this kind of like looseness to what I'm doing. What I love it most is I'm in this studio, I paint them, and the painting is gone. It goes out, it goes somewhere in the world. And then weeks, months, or years later, I come across the person who now has that painting, and they have a story about it. And they give me their version, and sometimes I create a whole new painting from that story that they give me, and it's a really lucky and wonderful thing. I used to focus solely on the character and what it was doing and what was going on and what was taking place as the story. And then after I started to evolve, and I'm always pushing myself to evolve. I never want to be stuck in that rut doing the same thing. And you know, I know a lot of you, and I talk to a lot of you, you have multiple pieces, 3, 4, 20, and it's not uncommon in the States. I hear 50, 60, because they're just different, and they reflect different attitudes and different personalities and different times in life. I started diving into this concept, and I probably like 2 or 3 years ago, of the background helping me tell this story. What if I expanded the story that I'm telling into the background and let it help tell this story? And I first started with like different themes of squares and kind of retro 60s mod, and I tried to bring those things in, and then it looked kitschy and it had its moments, but it wasn't really striking me as the story. And I did another one called It's Alright If You Love Me, and it was a long horizontal one, and the girl's kind of floating through in her hair. She's kind of riding the wave of flowers and swirls and curls and movement. And I really liked what it was feeling like, you know. And sometimes when I say I'm telling the story, sometimes it's a feeling that you can't talk about. Like it's just a feeling because it's going to be different for everyone. If we all listen to a particular song from our favorite artist, we're all going to have a different take on it. And so, you know, I get squeezed a lot. Like, what does this mean to you? Well, what's it mean to you? That's what counts. What it means to me is it was my own personal journey, and now it's your turn. Growing up in San Antonio, Texas, the way I did, we grew up with the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos. We grew up with that, and that was never Halloween. Even though people would dress up at Halloween as that, it was always kind of a character. So I played around with a couple that I did in the States. I'd done this for years. I'd sold several for years. And I'd always bring them to my publishers here and say, hey, I want to take this on tour. And they'd say, oh no, nobody here knows what that is. We don't want any of that. That's my British version. Otherwise it goes full pirate. And so I said, oh, I really think they'll come around and they'll feel it and they'll like it. So they reluctantly let me, you know, bring some out, and the first couple were like, oh, I like these clowns. So it's like, no, they're not clowns. So, but it's growing, it's taking hold, and I love it, and it's a feeling, and it's a vibe, and I'm riding into that with that same mentality of the movement of the flowers and the active spray paint streaks and rolls and drips and runs, and it's all just telling that story, right?